Hey girlies, it's Nevaeh. I'm here to speak my thoughts on you girls. I wanted to come make a video for those of you who would consider yourselves to be deep individuals or curious individuals, but still seem to struggle sometimes with relationships or friendships. And I actually want to touch more on the friendship aspect, but romantic relationships can apply too. If that sounds like you, keep watching. This video will be of service to you. So whenever I say a deep thinker, I just mean like you're the kind of person who considers the people you love constantly. Like if you love people, even if it's just a friend or, you know, somebody you're getting close to, you will consider them in your daily life. You will think about them. You will think about how they're doing. You will think about their life, how it's going. And you cannot help but include people that you love in your mind. And you're probably really big on integrity and honesty. Like if somebody tells you something and they tell you they don't want you to share it with anybody else, you really don't share it with anybody else. You're probably the kind of person who, when you're around people, you really want your time with them to mean something. You really want to know you guys are connecting, to know that they feel like they're receiving something and you feel like you're receiving something, and you guys just feel like sparks when you guys are together. You're probably a very sentimental person. You probably like little things that remind you of something that happened in the past, or maybe you like to save little things, or you know, you really value pictures because you want to remember the moment forever. You're probably just really sentimental, and you probably value relationships very deeply. Like relationships that you have in your life, you probably see and think about them very intensely. And whenever I talk about being a curious person, I just mean you're probably the kind of person, when somebody's talking to you, you actually listen to what they say, and you're like, and they say something that happened to them, and then you ask questions like, oh, how come that happened? What do you think it came from? Why do you think you responded like this? And you're curious enough to analyze, you know, whatever they're telling you, rather than just listening to them and not actually caring about what they're saying, but pretending to listen. You're probably like actually putting a lot of intention and time into hearing them, making them feel heard, making them feel seen. And you know, you expect the same in return. You expect the same thing in return, and you know, you think that's how relationships should be. And you don't mind doing it because your brain is naturally just curious. And you might even be the kind of person who, you could be on the internet, or you could have a question in your brain and you'll go search it up on the internet. And then you'll have another question and keep searching and searching, because your brain just works analytically. Like you care to learn and you care to think very deeply and curiously. If that sounds like you probably struggle whenever it comes to relationships sometimes, because you could tend to give more than you receive. And I just want to tell you, for one, the way that you are built, the way that your brain works and your heart is, you are normal. It is okay to be that way. It is okay to be intense, to be deep, to be curious. You know, it is okay to be those ways. Do not be ashamed, and do not make yourself feel like you have to change a part of you that you were born with. But I do want to just tell you, you know, you're not going crazy for feeling like you're giving more than you are receiving, because chances are you are giving more than you're receiving. We're in a world where a majority of people are very surface level, and they're not very intense, and a lot of people don't care to think very deeply and, you know, be very integral and honest and curious and, you know, deep with the relationships that they're in. Sometimes people kind of tend to live on autopilot, and I don't think that they realize that they're doing that. And I'm not here to even focus too much on the other individuals. We're mainly talking about you, but to make it make sense, a lot of people do live on autopilot, and they don't realize that they're not deep. You know, they don't even think about stuff like that. Sometimes they don't think, oh, I just want to be deep. Like, I just want somebody to be deep with me. Sometimes, you know, people can be surface level, and they can have a friendship with somebody because they thought somebody else was pretty. They both think each other's pretty, and that's good enough for the friendship to be. But you're probably the kind of person who, you want a friendship, forget the looks, like you just want a friendship and to get to know somebody for their soul. You want somebody to get to know you for their soul. If that sounds like you, I just want to remind you, you do not have to settle. You do not have to settle for anybody who doesn't make you feel like you guys are aligned. It may be difficult because you may feel lonely at times, but you just have to trust that there is somebody who is like you. There's somebody who is like-minded. There's somebody who is as integral as you, somebody who is as honest, as caring, as deep, as sentimental as you. And you guys may not have all of the same interests. You guys may not like all of the same things. You guys may not be curious about all of the same things, but you guys are aligned in certain ways that fit, like a puzzle, like two different puzzle pieces, but puzzles that fit together. And yes, it may seem like it's difficult sometimes because majority of the world is very surface level, and a lot of people don't care to think deeply and, you know, look into what actually matters whenever it comes to relationships. But there are people who do, and you just have to be patient, and you have to trust, and you have to believe that those kind of people for you are coming. Like, you are going to meet those kind of people. It might take a minute, it might take a while, but it's worth the wait. And I do believe that you can find friends and you can find people who will actually love you and support you and value you and nurture you and care about you. You just have to be willing to, you know, be patient and not feel the need to rush for it. I know it could be so easy for me to say that out loud, out of my mouth. It could be easy for me to say, don't rush for it. But I know if you're somebody who yearns for, you know, companionship, it can be with friends. It could be difficult for you to be like, no, like, I'm gonna wait. But no, I'm telling you, don't settle for relationships that don't fulfill you, because it will leave you feeling drained. It will leave you feeling like you are misunderstood. It will leave you feeling like you are unheard. And, you know, you never want to feel like that. Maybe if you have friends who you could tell you're not in full alignment with, but you know you're not going to cut them off, just distance your time with them. Maybe don't speak to them every single day. Maybe you don't talk to them as often or hang out with them as often as you do. Maybe just start distancing yourself and start valuing your time alone and start valuing your growth more and understanding that distance from them is growth, because that could be very necessary. And sometimes the reason why you're not attracting or, you know, stumbling upon the people that are actually in alignment with you are because you talking to the people who aren't in alignment with you, the people who are very different from you, the people who don't make you feel fulfilled, who don't fulfill you, don't make you feel heard or seen, are keeping you in habits and keeping you in a mindset that is stopping you from making room for the people who actually truly deserve you. Sometimes whenever you are too busy focusing on the people who don't deserve you, you're spending so much time there and, you know, pouring into that you're not making room for the people who do deserve you and the people who do deserve to be in your life. So I hope this video was of service to somebody. I'm telling you, you're going to come across people who allow you to have that, you know, childlike excitement around them. I think whenever I'm talking about a deep thinker and a curious thinker, I always think that we have this like childlike excitement. Sometimes when we get excited about things, it's like we're just like children all over again. We get so excited, so giddy about like nerdy stuff, like just deep stuff, nerdy stuff. We just love it. We just love the world. And, you know, sometimes it's hard to express that with people who don't let you be your true self. But I'm telling you, there are people in this world who will get it. If I'm making a video and you could relate to this video and this video makes sense, that is proof enough that there's somebody who gets it. You know what I mean? So just trust in that, believe in that, and everything will turn out fine. Holla at your girl. Be real or be real. Mwah.